Alright YouTube, so it looks like we have another date where we might be getting some Final Fantasy VII Remake info. Now, I am very aware I've made a few of these videos. This will be like the third time I've hyped up like certain dates and things for Final Fantasy VII Remake news, but there's no reason not to expect it. Like, it could happen anywhere. Like, you never know when they're going to drop it. They could drop tomorrow for no reason at all, not even at a certain event. They could just drop a fucking trailer, so you just never know what's going to happen. Now, what we're talking about today is later this month, or actually it's at the beginning of November, is Paris Games Week. Much like Tokyo Game Show, it's an event I've never fucking heard of, but it's huge. Last year in 2016, Paris Games Week's attendance was like 310,000. Again, just like Tokyo Game Show, I think they count like the attendance through all the days. It's like a 5-day event. So I'm assuming that's how they got to the 310,000, but that's still a lot of fucking people, even if it's over the course of multiple days. Now, 2 days before this event on October 30th, Sony's actually doing like a live stream type of event, maybe like a live stream press conference type of thing to kind of kick off Paris Games Week. Now, I'm assuming they probably have things planned throughout the actual event, you know, November 1st through the 5th. But maybe something will happen on that live stream. Maybe it'll be later on in the week. We're not specifically looking towards that October 30th event, but anywhere between October 30th and like November 5th could be something for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, the article we're fucking with is from express.co.uk. Used them a few times, and it's actually talking about the possibility of Last of Us 2 and the Resident Evil 2 remake information coming out on this event, because it is a Sony event. But us here on the channel, we're here for Final Fantasy VII Remake, but if you're interested in these games, they can make an appearance as well. The PS4 is home to some of the most anticipated games on the horizon, such as The Last of Us 2, the Resident Evil 2 remake, and the Final Fantasy VII remake. Not much has been revealed about this trio of much-hyped games since they were first announced. Gamers looking forward to the Resident Evil 2 remake do not have any screenshots or gameplay footage of the revived PlayStation 1 classic. While news on the Final Fantasy VII remake has been thin on the ground ever since it was announced to much fanfare back during E3 2015. A teaser trailer and a gameplay trailer were revealed in 2015, and this year we've been treated to a few new screenshots, but apart from that, details on a Final Fantasy VII Remake release date and how development of the game is progressing has dried up. The Last of Us 2, the sequel to the PlayStation 3 masterpiece, was announced during PlayStation Experience 2016 last December. Since then, as with the Resident Evil 2 remake and the Final Fantasy VII remake, news on it has dried up. However, this could be about to change very soon. PlayStation has teased that they are set to make some big announcements at the upcoming Paris Games Week. On October 30th at 3 p.m. GMT, PlayStation will hold their big Paris Games Week 2017 event, which will be streamed online. Alright, so for starters, GMT is Greenwich Mean Time, which is kind of a time zone I've never fucking heard of, but it's a 5-hour difference for me personally, so 3 p.m. GMT will be 10 a.m. for me. Now, I'll try to remember to leave a link to the time converter down below. It's actually a website called greenwichmeantime.com. It's like a time converter website. But if you actually Google search GMT time, it'll show you the current time for that time zone for you. So like for me, I'm recording this video at like 1:20 a.m. So as soon as I Google search GMT time, it said like 6:20 a.m. for that time zone. So very simple. PS4 fans will be able to watch the announcements as they take place on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and the PlayStation website. Teasing the PS4 event in a blog post, the PlayStation team said, "Bonjour tout le monde." That's how I'm pretty fucking sure Google said that. PlayStation has made some big plans for Paris Games Week next month, and it's time to start talking specifics. On 30th October, starting at 3 p.m. GMT, 4 p.m. CET, PlayStation Live from Paris Games Week will kick off with a slew of updates and announcements before moving straight into the Paris Games Week 2017 Media Showcase, where you'll get a look at some spectacular new games coming to PS4 and PSVR. Now, obviously, that quote doesn't show us anything specific, like it's just saying there's going to be some big announcements during Paris Games Week, but like every gaming event says that. Every company at every gaming event is going to be like, we got some big announcements, because they want you to tune in and watch and see what they're bringing out. Now, this doesn't confirm that Last of Us 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, or even this Resident Evil 2 remake are even going to be at this event, but there's always the possibility that it could be. These three games are arguably the most anticipated titles coming to the PS4. I gotta say that Resident Evil 2 Remake it's probably a really anticipated game, but I don't think it's one of the most, I don't think it's up there with The Last of Us and FF7 Remake. However, if we'd have to put a wager on it, we would expect more information on these titles to be revealed at PlayStation Experience 2017. PlayStation Experience was where The Last of Us 2 was first announced, and where we got the first Final Fantasy VII Remake gameplay footage. So it seems likely that Sony are posted to make more big announcements at the PlayStation Experience this year. This is further reinforced by comments Sony Worldwide Studios boss Yoshida made earlier this year. He previously said Sony chose not to reveal some AAA games at E3 2017 as they were saving them for later. Speaking in June, he said, "There are things we have held back," Yoshida said. "We chose not to show those at E3 2017, but there will be some more news coming out from our teams later this year. No question." The Final Fantasy VII Remake, The Last of Us 2, and the Resident Evil 2 Remake are arguably the biggest PS4 releases on the horizon. So Sony could be saving an announcement on these three hotly tipped titles towards the end of the year to end 2017 on a high note. Now this is something that we've actually already talked about before in past videos, and people have been speculating on this for quite a while now. I think either before E3 2017 or it was like right after E3 2017, whenever, there was nothing for Final Fantasy VII Remake, people were talking PlayStation Experience. Now, I did a video talking about Tokyo Game Show, of course, because I thought that was a good platform, but PlayStation Experience has kind of always been back there. Like, we've talked about it before ourselves. I mean, PlayStation Experience is where we got the second only trailer for Final Fantasy VII Remake. We've had two trailers, one at E3 2015, one at PlayStation Experience 2015. It's a very important event. Hell, like they mentioned in the article, last year's where we got the Last of Us 2 reveal was at a PlayStation Experience event. So it's a very important platform to reveal stuff for games. But we're here to be talking about Paris Games Week. Now, do I think we're going to see something at this event? As I say with every Final Fantasy VII Remake video where we're kind of discussing like a potential release date and things, I'm hopeful. I can't for certain say, yes, it's going to be at Paris Games Week. There's no fucking way of knowing that. Like I said, we could get a trailer or a release date tomorrow. For whatever reason, Square Enix or Sony could be like, here's a release date, here's a new trailer, whatever the case. Like, we don't know when they're going to give us anything. I'm always hopeful. I look to these big events because they're like beacons of hope in the distance. These gaming events are like the fucking light at the end of the tunnel that you're trying to reach, man. Like, I'm always expecting or wanting things to happen, but you just never know when or where it's going to happen, dude. And I've been saying this since the beginning. Like, I don't want the game to come out. Like, I don't want the game to drop tomorrow and be shit quality. I want the game to come out as soon as possible, but I want it to be as good as it can be. But what I've been striving for since I've been making these Final Fantasy VII Remake videos is information. I just want a release date, a trailer. At this point, I'd be happy with some more fucking screenshots. Just goddamn something. A release window. You can look at some of these other games, like Kingdom Hearts 3, which is being made by Sony and Square Enix, or Square Enix more specifically. We got a release window. We know 2018. Of course, we don't know when in 2018, but they gave us fucking something. Red Dead Redemption 2, a video game I do lots of videos for. We know it's spring 2018. Like, they give us something. We have fucking nothing for Final Fantasy VII Remake, and that's what I want. I will say this, however, I'll make a bold prediction. If we don't see something at this Paris Games Week, it is a big event, one I've never heard of, but it is a big event. If we don't see anything for Final Fantasy VII Remake at Paris Games Week, I'm going to make a bold statement. I'm going to go on a limb here and say, PlayStation Experience, something. What it'll be, I don't fucking know. Maybe a trailer, maybe a release window, maybe more screenshots. I don't goddamn know. But I say Final Fantasy VII Remake, if not at Paris Games Week, will 100% be at PlayStation Experience. I might be wrong. We'll see. There just goddamn has to be something by the end of 2017. Not including some of the random tidbits of information that I've made videos on about this game over the past several months or whatever. Like, we've gotten a little bit of information, interviews, some gameplay things here and there, but we haven't actually had something for Final Fantasy VII Remake for 2 fucking years, since PlayStation Experience 2015 was the last, like, official content where we got a fucking trailer and shit for the game. Like, that's the last time. 2 years of fucking silence, more or less. There just has to be something by the end of this year. So as always, guys, let me know your thoughts below. Do you think we're going to see something at Paris Games Week, but near the end of October, October 30th through the November 5th? Do you think we're going to see something at all for Final Fantasy VII Remake? Or you comment on Last of Us 2, Kingdom Hearts 3 or something, or the fucking Resident Evil 2 remake. If you are excited for those games, you can comment about those below. Do you think we're going to see any of those games at Paris Games Week? Or do you think that Sony's trying to save like a big fat nut for the end of the year to try to end 2017 on a high note? Because we've had kind of a year of silence when it comes to Sony. We haven't had a whole lot from them other than obviously Final Fantasy 15. Anyways, if you went on to enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, turn on notifications, follow me on Twitter at @the-david. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
Whoa! Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake, 'cause I don't fucking care.